Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, live from the showcase happening in Boulder, Colorado. Shedeur, Travis Hunter, and the other Colorado Buffaloes who are looking to make it to the NFL are putting together a workout in beautiful Colorado. There is a man that has boots on the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, former draft spectacular pundit, a man who's a mock drafter's mock drafter. He's got a new haircut. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Field Yates.
Yeah, Field.
Let's go. Hey, 3 months since Christmas was the last time I got this haircut, and there's no sign of slowing down right now, boys.
I mean, it's very strong. You got a good hair there, but there's a lot of people saying Field is trying to transform into Mel Kiper.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Is that what you got to do at the position there, or what?
I got a lot of respect for Mel, so we're still workshopping this, and you guys can weigh in because maybe I am. It's actually very possible that I'm going for the Mel Kiper look. The question is it Mel Kiper Jr. or Mel Kiper III? A lot of debate over the past few days about which nickname works better. So I'm open to what you guys think on it.
Yeah.
But the third? All right,
yeah.
Mel Kiper the third.
Anytime you can drop a third on there, you definitely do that.
That feels powerful.
And right now, you got that thing swooping a little bit to the side, really powerful. You know, Mad Many. Like that thing looks good. There was a time you were on TV. You were team on yesterday. It went straight back, and I think that was the
look.
That was the Mel Kiper. If you're trying to be the third, I think that's what you need to do. With this one, you just look like a man who has a healthy head of hair.
Yeah.
And you should be showcasing that. Okay, let's talk about what's happening out at the showcase. Obviously, the Giants' entire brass is there. I believe Cleveland Browns' entire brass is there. I assume every single team is represented in this thing. We talked to Ian Rappaport earlier. He said the Tennessee Titans, not as many people there, but they also have a visit happening later. What do you think is the conversation here? Because that guy, if you listen to Dan Orlovsky, should maybe go to the Cleveland Browns, especially if they're bringing in Kirk Cousins, when at the beginning of this entire process, Cleveland Browns were definitely taking a quarterback, and it was probably going to be Shedeur, who's obviously also there. What are your thoughts, Field Yates, at this moment on those two guys, and how big of a day is this out there in Colorado?
This is a huge day now. This is a big testament to what Coach Prime has assembled out here. There is, dozens upon dozens of media here. They're actually over right now talking to Coach Prime. And this swarm of people looks like when you're at the combine and the number one prospect does his media appearance, and you can just see bodies upon bodies upon bodies. But the scenes here from the various teams, and they're all 32 are here, by the way. I did hear that is confirmed, which is no surprise when you've got two of the most notable players in the draft. But it's the people specifically from the teams that caught my attention. You've got, as you mentioned, a ton of the Browns brass here. But how about this? I've been to a good number of pro days in my life, but talking to a bunch of scouts here, something that they had never seen previously. There's an owner here. Jimmy Haslam from the Browns is here right now at the Colorado Pro Day, which you can interpret that however you want to, but it's a sign that the Browns probably have one of, if not both, Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter on their radar when they pick number 2 overall. So the Browns are leaving no stone unturned in terms of their preparation. The Titans will be here. The Giants are en route as well. I believe both of the larger contingents from those teams are actually scheduled to fly out this morning and arrive any minute now, because we're about 50 or so minutes from when Shedeur first throws. So a lot of energy in this building right now. Tons of people are pumped to be here.
Go ahead, AJ.
When you watch Shedeur throw, we had Dan Orlovsky on the other day, and he said he wants to see him. What do you say, Pat? Like really step into it and really get on top of a throw or something. Make those.
Wants to see the ball pop out of his hands. He said. Wants to see the ball pop out of his hand.
Do you agree with Dan on that one, Field? And what are you looking for when you see Shedeur work out today?
Yeah, so Dan mentioned this, like the offense they played in Colorado, like the variance of throws wasn't great. It wasn't like a ton of different things you see. It's a lot of stuff at or near the line of scrimmage, because we know how great Travis Hunter is, but they've got 2 or 3 other receivers who might get drafted like late in the draft. So they basically just had a bunch of guys who are electric with the football in their hands. Why bother not letting those guys do what they can do best when it was working to great effect? They were certainly a good offensive team these past couple of seasons. So I think we'll see more variance of what kind of throws Shedeur actually throws in the next hour or so here. Shedeur is not one of those guys that's going to win at the NFL level because he's got this overwhelming arm strength. It's going to be because I still believe he is the most refined pocket passer in this year's class, the best combination of accuracy and touch. And there are quarterbacks in the NFL right now that, if you asked him to throw a football next to Josh Allen, it would look not that impressive. But they win because they're surgical, they're accurate. They win pre-snap and they win post-snap as well. So not having elite arm strength is not going to be the kind of thing that's going to prevent Shedeur Sanders from being a successful quarterback.
He's been able to make every throw thus far, and 55% of his throws were within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage or less. We found that stat out yesterday from the great Hembo, but he has those deep shots, and obviously there's other questions.
He does.
I'll be excited to see what ends up happening, because Dan called it the toughest prospect to scout or something like that because of all those things, but also family, how greatness has kind of been shown to him his entire life. Like, there's so much that goes into it. Which team falls in love with Shedeur will certainly be a draft night storyline. Now, Connor has a question about your latest mock.
Yeah, Field, you had your newest mock this weekend. Obviously, as a Patriots fan, I have to say, at number 4, you do have Travis Hunter going there. Now, it feels as though after you released this mock draft, there started to be reports that, hey, the Giants and the Browns aren't going to take Shedeur, that most likely Shedeur is dropping a little bit. Now, it is early April. It is smokescreen season. If there were ever a time for teams to kind of get away from a player, it would be right now. Do you feel like you still feel good about Shedeur at 2 or 3? Does the fact that Haslam is there for the Browns make you think that he's more so there to see a franchise quarterback versus a franchise player like Carter or Hunter? And has anything really changed for you since releasing this mock?
Yeah, not a great feeling when, like, hours after your mock goes live, Schefter is talking about with Ty about how, maybe Shedeur is more likely to go to the Saints at 9 or the Steelers at 21 as opposed to 3 where I had him. That being said, I'll just sort of input what I have from here is, I do think that the Giants need to consider a quarterback. On top of that, talking to some scouts here on the field, they're like, I tell you, if the Giants aren't interested in Shedeur, it's not going to be because of lack of effort, because people that have been either in Boulder or at games that they were playing on the road this year have noticed the Giants are always well represented. So they have certainly done their homework on Shedeur. Maybe their conclusion by the time we get to April 24th is that he is not the quarterback that they believe is worth that number 3 overall pick. But I haven't ruled it out entirely. I think the NFL has shown us time and again that, really the only chance you have for sustained success is to find a quarterback. And even if that percentage is lower in your eyes on Shedeur Sanders compared to what Cam Ward's potential hit rate is, I mean, the NFL we've seen plenty of quarterbacks that have probably slid through the cracks unnecessarily and gone on to become really good players. So it's 3 more weeks. Maybe the Giants really are set on not taking a quarterback, but it also wouldn't totally stun me if that conversation continues until April 24th. And at the very least, the Browns and the Giants have another player who's the best player, at least in my opinion, in the class, and Travis Hunter, to make this trip worth every bit of it. Because while he is not running or jumping or anything in the work prior to the on-field stuff, it does sound like Travis Hunter is going to run routes for Shedeur Sanders. That'd be a cool thing to see those two guys connecting for probably the last time as teammates before they go their separate ways in the NFL.
Shout out to Shedeur, by the way. Has to be loved by Travis for Travis to come do this. Travis could probably sit out of this and nothing will change. So he's showing up for his quarterback, which is good, obviously, whenever it comes to a leadership role. Whenever we're in this season, what season are we in right now?
We are currently in smokescreen season. And during the draft, that more so means, like, hey, if you hear a team hates a player, that means they love a player.
Probably loves him,
okay,
right?
So on that note, there's one particular player being slotted to a city, basically by everybody. AP Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, there is. And you did it as well, Field. And Dan Orlovsky is just talking glowingly about Jaxson Dart. You and Mel are talking glowing about Jaxson Dart. I heard his pro day was awesome, 10 out of 10, off the charts. So when you guys are doing that at 21, is that because the Steelers don't have a quarterback and you're like, oh, this makes sense? Or is that actually stuff that you're hearing from scouts within the league or people within the league that think that it could be a potential?
Yeah, I mean, I sort of felt like when I was doing it on Wednesday, but at the very least, I could say, I mean, they don't have a quarterback other than Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson on the roster. I know that they're comfortable. They say they're comfortable with Mason as their starter for the season, at least at the beginning. I don't know that I buy that idea at all. This is a team that I hate to remind, as you know, obviously 5 straight losses in the playoffs. Like, at some point, if you're Pittsburgh, you got to aim a little bit higher at the quarterback hierarchy. And while some people will say they tried that a few years ago with Kenny Pickett and it didn't work out, that's fair. But you got to keep swinging at quarterback because clearly it's a position that influences everything more than there was no other position in team sports that influences winning more than a quarterback. So it wouldn't stun me. A lot of people here that are boots on the ground in Colorado think that Pittsburgh would be a natural fit for one of these quarterbacks. And Jaxson, I view him as the third quarterback in the draft. Some people might see it a little bit closer between him and Shedeur, but I think he's probably sort of that fringe round one type prospect that, because of the position he plays, could end up going more like 21-35, where I have him ranked on the big board.
All right, Field, we know you got to go. So last question here from AJ about quarterbacks.
Yeah, Field, what's your thoughts on Will Howard? Where do you think he's going to end up going?
Yeah, I had Will in the second round in the mock on Wednesday of this past week. Will had this unbelievable playoff run, and last year we saw, obviously, Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix have a ton of success, and one of the things they had in common was 5 years of playing in college. Will's in that same boat, right? 4 years at K-State, and then obviously this past year at Ohio State. Played awesome when it mattered most, got big arm, good athlete. They didn't need to run him as much as, AJ at Ohio State because of that 1-2 punch at running back, but he can impact the game with his legs as well, so we're in business.
Okay.
I'm getting called over right now, guys. I got to roll.
You're the man, ladies and gentlemen.
Prime.
Field, yeah.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Coach Prime, have a good
I'll
one,
tell
buddy.
Coach Prime I say hello.
Yeah.
Will do. All right, guys.
God bless America. Ladies and gentlemen, Field, yeah.
Hell yeah, Fields.